Hey, it's Erin. Let's talk about recomping. What is it and how can we achieve it? Recomping is simultaneously gaining muscle while losing fat. It's actually difficult to achieve, but it's doable. And we'll talk about a couple of things that you need to consider in order to achieve this. The first thing to consider, if you're already super shredded, you're not going to be doing much recomping. So it's actually a good thing if you have a little bit more body fat. As far as eating goes, you want to make sure that you're eating at around maintenance calories. This means that you're just burning the same amount of calories that you're taking in. When it comes to training, think about lifting as heavy as you safely can, using proper form, of course, and keeping recovery in between sets and supersets relatively short. We're talking 30 to 45 seconds. So you're getting those cardio benefits while you train. For today's workout, we're training legs. If you're looking to recomp or if you're looking to lean down, I would suggest training legs a little bit more frequently. This is going to give you a greater calorie burn, which means that you have the ability to change your physique more quickly. So without further ado, let's get in there and train. Grab some dumbbells and head over to the leg press for our first superset, which is leg press followed by RDLs. Now, for the leg press, it's important that you find a good foot position for yourself and for your goals. Here, my goal is to hit more of the quads. Of course, you're going to hit a little bit of glutes. So for the quads, you want to focus on keeping your feet a little bit lower on the platform and pushing your weight a little bit more through the toes. This is really going to accentuate the quads. Also, adding that mid-rep pause is going to give me just a second to double check and make sure that the weight distribution is good, make sure form is good, make sure I'm focusing on pushing those knees out as I push the sled up. So you don't want the knees to cave in. I like to get maximum depth here, so I'm going with a wider stance. And this is going to allow my upper leg to go as far as it will go. And as far as holding on to the machine, you want to make sure you have a nice grip on the machine to where the rest of your body is not moving, but you don't want to be stiff. So I've got my head resting on the pad. I don't have the chin tucked. So all of the effort is going into the legs. Now, as far as reps go, you're looking at 10 to 12 reps for each of these exercises. And you're going straight to dumbbells to the RDLs. I love dumbbell RDLs because you can change that weight distribution pretty easily. And since the focus here is going to be on hamstrings and glutes, I'm bringing those dumbbells to the sides of my legs rather than in front. And this is going to help with glute recruitment. Feet are a little bit narrower than shoulder width apart. Weight is pushed through the heels. And as you come up, think about your hips as a hinge. So you want to think about moving the rest of your body with the glutes and the hamstrings. And I also like to think about rounding the back forward just slightly at the top. And this is going to help keep emphasis on the glutes. And of course, you want to make sure that your lower back is flat. So the lower back should be flat the entire time. If the lower back starts to round, you can experience pain here. So if you don't have flexibility, do not bring the dumbbells as low. So you want to stop before that back rounds, keeping your shoulders even to the ground and bracing against the weight so everything stays nice and tight. You want that core to be nice and tight. Think about stretching through the chest as you lower the weights down. The more you push your weight through the heels, the more you kind of sit back on those glutes, the more you will feel it in your glutes and hammies. Let's go over to the cables for our next superset, which is cable squats followed by pull throughs. Form is so important on these cable squats. You want to make sure that you have enough weight on the rack here to counterbalance against. And as you squat down, think about pushing yourself up but also back at the same time. So this is going to give you really, really great recruitment in the glutes. You're going to feel this in the quads too. Keep your back flat, keep your chest nice and tall. Push the weight through the heels. Feet are 1.5 times shoulder width, and I like to turn the toes out just a little bit. And when you turn the toes out, make sure you turn the knees out just a little bit too. Again, we're doing that mid-rep pause. So just because we're supersetting and we're going exercise to exercise, back to back, does not mean that the tempo of the exercise itself needs to be fast. Take your time here. I'm going to adjust the weight. You're going to go a little bit lighter for those pull-throughs. And this is a similar movement to the RDL in that you want to make sure you're keeping your back flat, except now we've got constant tension with the cable. So we have the ability to go full range of motion, get that little squeeze at the top. So take your time, focus on squeezing the whole way through and getting a little isometric squeeze at the top. So feet are wider than shoulder width. You're gripping the rope with both hands, making sure you keep your back flat. And at the top, you can round those shoulders forward just a little bit to squeeze the glutes a little bit more. And you do not need a lot of weight here. And take your time and really feel that negative portion of the rep. Feel the lengthening of those hamstrings and really squeeze the glutes at the top. So we're looking at 10 to 15 reps here, and 3 sets should be good. Next, we're moving on to the squat rack. We're going to be doing some clean grip reverse lunges, followed by good mornings. Now with this exercise, think about keeping that bar right at the clavicles, keep the elbows up, keep the chest up. As you step back, think about taking even steps with both feet. Push the weight through the heel. And this one is going to hit quads. You're also going to feel it a little bit in the glutes. Glutes are a large muscle group, so you can hit the glutes with supersets back to back, and they are okay. So really focus. We're looking at 10 to 12 reps each side. What I'm going to do is re-rack it and then go right into good mornings. Feet about shoulder width apart, really pushing that weight through the heels. And here we've got a different weight distribution than the other 2 hinge exercises. So you will feel this in that glute ham tie-in area. You're also going to feel it in the upper glutes and of course in the hamstrings. Now same idea here, stretch through the rib cage. So you want to make sure you're keeping your upper body nice and long, keeping your lower back flat, keeping your spine neutral. And you do not need a lot of weight. So we're focusing on repping it out. And you can do 15 to 20 reps here. And really focus on getting that squeeze. Moving on to our last superset. You just need a bench for this one. It is quad step ups followed by Bulgarian split squats. Now on these quad step ups, I'm doing all reps on each leg for both exercises and then switching to the other leg. Now, quad step ups, this is not like the dynamic step up in that you're not pushing with that rear leg at all. So try to keep that rear foot dorsiflexed and try to pull yourself up with just that front leg. This is really great for quads. This is a very tough exercise. I'm going to go straight into Bulgarian split squats with that right leg and making sure that lower leg is just about perpendicular to the ground. It's okay if it's a little bit in front. You want to think about dropping down right between the front leg and the trail leg, keeping the top of the foot resting on that bench. As far as weight distribution goes, you can push your weight through the heel if you would like to hit glutes just a little bit more. You can lean forward if you want to hit glutes just a little bit more. I'm going to go right into the next leg. And with this superset, you want to start on that non-dominant leg or that weaker leg first. And this is a good idea because you can do the same number of reps on that strong leg and it will help your legs catch up in strength. So really focus on pulling yourself up with that front leg. And for each of these, you're looking at 10 to 15 reps per exercise. And same thing, going right into Bulgarian split squats. If you have trouble with balance, focus on an object ahead of you that is not moving. So a lot of times we look in the mirror when we're doing this, there's a tendency to lose balance, but fix your gaze on something unmoving. This is really going to help you. And this being the last superset, this one will really get your heart rate up because you're doing a lot of reps with no recovery. When it comes to combining exercises in supersets, typically you're going to pair a push and a pull exercise together. What this does is it allows each muscle active recovery while you're working on the other muscle. And of course, you're keeping your heart rate up. Make sure that you keep an eye on recovery in between sets and supersets. This is super important. You think that 30 to 45 seconds is a lot of time, but when you're looking at the timer on your phone or on your watch, it does go by pretty quickly, especially when you're training hard. If you like this video, please consider subscribing and don't forget to click that little bell. You'll be the first to know whenever a new video comes out. And if you try this workout and you love it, please tag me on social media. I really enjoy seeing your progress and seeing you take the exercises and making them your own. That's it for this time. Until next time, train hard, y'all.